Sentire Media.
All right, hot mics, here we go. Thank you so much. You downloaded the podcast from Italy on the 6th of January, the Epiphany, La Befana Epifania.
Buona festa.
Thank you so much for doing that.
We are back.
We are back. We're heating up the mics. It is a little bit later than we normally do podcasting, 9:51 in the a.m. We have a wintry mix outside. It is what it should be on the 5th of January. Few degrees, maybe 2 or 3 degrees, and lightly sleeting.
Love it. This morning, more snow than rain.
No.
Here.
Yeah, but nothing sticks, so it doesn't count.
But I'd like to see it fall. We'll
get plenty. Don't worry. It's been a couple of months since we've done one of these, which is, I guess that's the...
on par.
Is that the rate we're kind of the...
I hope not.
Yeah, well, history has said otherwise. So
this is true.
We do it when we feel like it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a lot to talk about. The holidays are over, thank goodness. We get a repose from eating for a while. I just feel fat.
I know. That's all I can say.
Done eating. Too many.
God, he's still bringing over panettone.
Yeah, he's still bringing over boxes of panettone and Pandoro, and I don't want to.
Like Boston.
I don't want to look at any more Panforte, any of that stuff. Done with it. Let's just move on from the constant feeding that was the last 2 weeks or so. Let's jump right into it and. Start off.
All right. Well, the last podcast we had talked about Thanksgiving and some of our latest travels in November. I think it was October and November. And at the end of November, I had left you guys with a teaser that I would talk about FICO Eataly. And I went there at the end of November in the evening with my best friend. And it was like, well, let's go. Let's check it out. So when you enter, it is such a huge parking entrance where, Jay, can you explain how it looks like some sort of loading zone?
No, it's an expo
You're
center.
Right. You're right. Thank you. And all the trucks and zones and all of this stuff. Anyway, we get in, and because it's after 6 o'clock, it's only €5 to get in. So basically, FICO is a food mall with an entrance fee. And I was fine with the entrance fee for 2 reasons. One is because I thought, okay, well, I want to check it out. At the very least, this is interesting for the podcast, I would hope. And so many guests have asked us about it, so I should go check it out just for the research. $5, fine. And $5, there's got to be some good samples involved, and this will be great. A little snack as we walk around. And we get in, and everything's closing down because it's so late in the evening. But I guess normally there's a lot of demonstrations and workshops and things like that. I didn't see any of that. But more importantly, didn't see a single snack. Not a single sample. There was one little tiny plate of meat and cheeses that had sticks in it like a sample, but then there was a huge sign saying this is not a sample and this is only if you're part of some food tour. And maybe I'm just a fatty that grew up going to Costco samples for lunch. But it was kind of disappointing. Now, it was nice because you could buy a glass of wine or a bottle of wine, of course, too. But glass of wine, you could then walk around with your wine glass and bring it back. But then you also kind of just felt like a alcoholic walking around a mall with a glass of wine. I don't know. It was definitely felt very geared towards kids in just big play structures. If you had kids, and especially if it's a rainy day or you wanted to go do some cool food shopping, great place for a family, I would say. In fact, there was multiple birthday parties happening, and as we were leaving at 8:30 thinking, wow, we were here, this is late, more kids and parties were arriving. So I guess it's a cool place for kids, especially with all the interactive stuff. There's a freaking beach volleyball area. Some stuff didn't make any sense. I don't know what beach volleyball has to do with food. There was a bunch of the educational stuff, which, like I said, was kind of cool, but I will say one thing, some of the wines and the prices for things when I was actually taking a peek were pretty normal. They did not seem like anything was... They
didn't seem like the airport.
No, exactly. Like I bought Jason a baby mortadella, like a chunk of a that was made there and all of this and all the stamps and certifications, but it wasn't any better than other ones we've gotten in Bologna, to be honest.
I mean, I didn't go to this, but I remember you saying this when you got back. It's like if Disney put on the Disneyfication of the Italian food culture.
Sure.
It's
yes, and like even with the like cartoony map, there's even a freaking not only a carousel but a roller coaster. So it's just kind of crazy. But there was bikes and like one cool thing, another cool thing for kids. They had little tractors that you could drive around and like a little tractor zone. So I mean, some stuff was kind of cool, but I don't know. For the $5 and the late entry fee, I would go back again if someone was in town and wanted to check it out. My girlfriend loved it. It was just, it's cheesy enough.
And it's everything in one place.
Everything in one place. Yeah. So she could do a ton of shopping for everyone before her flight early in the next morning. But if I was paying full price in the middle of the day, I don't know.
What is
I don't know, $16.
Oh, really?
Maybe, I think.
No
person.
Kidding.
I think so, but
wow.
I think there's a lot more going on. I don't know. The only other weird thing is when we were leaving, I noticed by the doors there's all these like chicken. Like so, when you walk in, there's a bunch of farm animals outside, and then when you come in, there's like a little pen with a bunch of chickens and a little rooster and stuff like that. And it was so bright in there at 8:30, and I noticed the chickens and stuff walking around, and I thought, this has got to be so out of whack for these poor animals. And I just thought I had never really thought about it before, but I guess after doing the farm stuff for so long, it starts to like sink in of the like, wait, this can't be good for them. And the artificial light, the whole thing, I just felt really bad for the chickens. And then as we were leaving, we realized the same thing for the pigs and the goats and all the animals that you like petting zoo style you see when you walk up. It was like, they're under these crazy lights. Where do they sleep? And it's got to be hard. This place is still open for another 2 or 3 hours. But just interesting. Would I go again? Like I said, yes, if someone was in town. If it was just me and Jason, probably not, unless he was super bored and really wanted to see it. But if you've got kids doing some gift shopping, I guess I would recommend it. But I would give it like a C, to be honest.
All right. So there you go. We will make a note of that in your book of...
You might like it. Some people might like it. So I would say go check it out. But for $5, go for it.
Okay, the FICO review gets an we'll do a little holiday recap here. Holidays came and went with no big fanfare, no real stories. We did our normal making the Capoletti and doing all that kind of jazz. But
spent it with Gaji and Rosanna.
It was really just the four of us. It was quiet. Everyone was freaked out. So
quiet. The news is blaring and they just yell over.
Well, I mean, quiet as in it was just a quiet.
Correct.
It was a quiet holiday.
Tiny water cooler note at Christmas. We noticed a lot more lights up this year. Listen, I've talked about it on podcasts for years. I miss driving around and seeing Christmas lights. Now, this is nothing like America by any means, but this was a significant jump from years past of people having some outdoor lights.
Because you see them around more. When we first arrived here, remember, we had to search out Christmas lights.
That's true, too. And now there's Amazon and all of that stuff. But it was kind of exciting to drive around in the evening and go, hey, look, they got lights. I'm easily amused, I guess.
Absolutely. So Ashley also got her foot surgery done, which was lots of good stories coming out of the hospital for doing that one. Not so much the surgery.
The surgery, whatever. That was just kind of its own thing. But I thought I took some notes as I was there because it was such an interesting experience that I thought it'd be perfect to share with you guys. So first, it's at Rizzoli, a private hospital in Bologna, and they said, be there at 7:30. Okay, great. I'm there. Yep.
Rizzoli's not a private hospital. It's a public
I'm sorry.
Hospital. You just went through the private system.
Thank you. And anyway, so be there at 7:30. So I waited outside on the floor I'm supposed to be at, waited outside the sliding doors, and slowly, no, not too slowly, but kind of a medium-sized group started to gather there of other patients getting ready to be checked in, and we're all eagerly waiting or nervously waiting for them to call our name. And it started to feel like it was some sort of flight, like we're all being called in or up for our upgrade, I wish. But because everyone arrives with luggage. It's hilarious. So you just see people kind of wheeling in their bags. And if I hadn't been to the hospital before, either with Jason or when I had a little something removed, just a little day procedure that wasn't a big deal, there is a whole culture to people wearing certain outfits even at the hospital. We've talked about this where you have a proper outfit for riding a bike, you have a proper outfit for working in the garden.
Not just a outfit. It is outfit changes.
Absolutely.
Like
that's what I was going to say. So you show up wearing one, that's your street clothes. And once you get admitted and you've been taken to your room, then you change into your like comfort, relax, pre-surgery clothes. Then a nurse delivers you a little like operation packet, kind of again, back like you're on a flight, like your little like flight bag with your hairnet, your whatever it may be, and your gown and all of that. Some little paper undies. And then in the next morning when they are coming through, then it's time to put on your post-surgery outfit. So maybe one that's more comfortable or loose, or depending on what you're in for. Now, like I said, I thought I was prepared. And I was like, boom, I'm going shopping for PJs beforehand and things that I can like get my foot through and all of this. Okay, I had brought one outfit. I didn't want to bring a big bag. I don't know. I had brought one thing to change into.
You're not there 24 hours.
Well, yeah, I spent the night.
No, I know, but
I was there 24 hours.
Okay, you're there 24 hours. How many outfit changes do you need?
Exactly. So, well, I was wrong. Where was my bathrobe? Everyone else had bathrobes to put on top of. I guess I was underdressed.
Did they match their PJs?
Of course they did.
That's what I noticed when I went and got my lifeguarding license, that everyone's Speedo, their banana hammock, matched their swim cap, and it matched their robe.
Yes. And everyone had, like, proper slippers. But since I knew I was doing a foot thing, I didn't want to bring like slipper shoes to like walk around. I don't know. I did bring some slips, but it was just hilarious. The wheeling in of the luggage and the whole outfit changes and all of that. And speaking of, so when they're doing my initial entrance paperwork and stuff, and I'm sitting there with the nurse, I keep hearing one of the doctors or other nurses speaking French to everyone. Bonjour, bonjour. And everyone's replying back, bonjour. And so I'm chatting with the head nurse as she's typing me in, and I hear the French again in the back, and I kind of smile, and I said, oh, you have a French doctor, a French nurse here. And she goes, what? And I look back and I kind of nod at the guy behind me, and she starts laughing, and she goes, hey, everyone, she thinks he's French. And they all start cracking up, and they go, he's Napolitano. And then I got the joke, but it was like, Napolitani, how crazy. But he's definitely not French. And it just was like, oh my God. And then, of course, he would only speak to me in French. Like, I don't even speak French, but then he would only come by and speak to me in French, which cracked me up. There was also a lot of questions as I was getting checked in, the different nurses come to pop in throughout the morning, about what kind of food I eat, if I have any food allergies, if there's anything I don't like. And I was thinking, oh, right, I can't wait to see the menu for lunch or for dinner, after the surgery. A lot of questions about the food, and I never got anything more than a really crappy cracker pack. And I was like, what the hell was all that food talk? What was all this? She'll be by with the menu. Great. I'm starving. I haven't eaten since last night. Where is this menu? No food. So that kind of sucked. I remember I was getting kind of you start getting nervous. It's starting to get close to the time of the surgery, and I'm realizing, I don't know if it's lost in translation. I don't know. Where's the doctor before my surgery? Who's going to come and chat with me, like, about exactly what's going to go on? So when the nurse, one of the assistant doctors came in, this is a learning hospital.
Did he look like a 16-year-old?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, mine did too.
And he comes in, and I'm like, so what's going to, what's really going to go on? What's this surgery exactly? Maybe I didn't quite understand. And because then they did a bunch more x-rays and stuff. So it was like, all right, maybe they have now they've got the last minute checks. I can really see what's the plan. And he goes, he's just going to kind of figure it out when he gets in there. I immediately was like, oh my God. And I don't know if any of you are Arrested Development fans, but it made me think of Dr. Stein style. Like, we're just going to get in there and see what's going on. And it was like, who knows what I'm coming out with? It ended up to be like just a bar and some serious hardware that the rod comes out actually finally tomorrow. But anyway, also as he's in there, he's asking me about some ingredients for a medication that I've got. And I go to grab it out of my like little purse bag. And as I'm trying to open it, I swear to God, 3 or 4 huge granola bars fall out of my bag. And it just I looked like such a fatty. I was already talking about the food. Where the hell's all the food? And now my like stash has fallen out. I was just like, Jesus Christ. Let's see here. What else? So I think that I understand a bit of why Italians have the shared rooms. And when I left the hospital, I kind of had this appreciation for it, because I didn't ever understand, like, why would you want to share a room with anyone? That sounds terrible. But having picked to be one of 3, I was in the middle and on either side, so I was definitely the youngest. But one of the women next to me had flown in from Sardinia to see this same doctor for a surgery. And so it kind of reassured, like, oh, he is really great in all of this. And so we talked about him a bit and her surgery. And then the other woman next to me, she was getting her knee replaced, and she was the youngest of 16. She was 85 and tosta and just fantastic. She was the only one, along with myself, as we were waiting outside the sliding doors, who didn't have family with her. And I noticed it when we were out there, because I thought, that's so strange. Like, everyone else is either older like her and has a daughter or son who have brought them and then have left, or it's a mother and son or a couple or whatever it may be. But it was just me and her that were the solos out there. And so I had taken note, and it was just interesting that she was my roommate. But I realized it's really kind of comforting to be in a room with 2 others, because you kind of share your own stories. You don't get so worked up about the surgery you're going to have or nervous, or you find out they're in it for a lot worse than what you've got, and to be thankful and just to hear people's stories. I don't know. It was kind of nice. I would definitely, if it was something kind of like this again, I would definitely do the shared room. And then I was just trying to think if there was anything else. Oh, yes, there was. Waking up. So I decided to not go for, what's it called when they put you to sleep?
General anesthesia.
General anesthesia, and went for local. And, okay, that was super weird, because later when I woke up, you kind of fall asleep a little bit. They
sedate you.
Yeah, sedate you.
You're not totally with it.
Exactly. And so I wheel in, and all this is going on, and the lights and stuff. And like I said, it's a learning hospital, university, so there's a lot of people. And you could notice there was just a lot of people in the room, in a big room. And all of a sudden, I just kind of fall asleep, whatever. And as I'm waking up and not sure what's going on, and there's like weird sensations on your foot, but it was really on my other leg I was feeling stuff, and I was like, what's going on? But I wake up, and as you're coming to, it sounded like I was in a chop shop. There was so many profanities thrown around the room. Give me that goddamn hammer, that thing. I told her to give it to me. So much cursing. I was like, where am I? It was hilarious. And when I told Jason, he was like, I've always wondered what it was like. It wasn't like classical music playing in the background.
And a peaceful, calm environment.
I was like, what kind of triage trauma is going on? Or like I said, is this just like the back of a mechanic's, like somewhere, I don't know, where they're talking rough.
And a lot of yelling.
And a lot of yelling. And then as I'm getting wheeled out, the other 2 doctors are humming and singing, this is in Italy, the Muppets. And it just was like, what, am I on some serious drugs, or what is going on here? But all in all, it was a good experience. Checked out the next morning, and it's been a long, not road to recovery. It wasn't super painful or anything like that.
You've sat on your butt and puzzled for the last 30 days.
That's why I said it's not a long road to recovery. It's just been boring for 40 days. Thank God my early Christmas gift, if you will, was feeling like I was 86, because we went to the geriatric store and we got some wheels. not a scooter I was hoping for, but a knee scooter, and I'm able to fly around the downstairs, thinking that I was doing pretty good, but I've destroyed the cabinets and the walls with the edges of my wheels, and it's like, oh my gosh. But little damage, we could handle it.
Yeah, we can paint it. So that's Ashley's been kind of stuck on her butt. I, however, since the
day one of me coming home. My surgery was December 2nd, so we came home on the 3rd.
Yeah. So the beginning of December, I've been going every morning, bright and early, up to Calicozzo, which is at the end of our road. You hang a right, go towards Piobico, and it's literally a minute down the road and up into the hill.
Any of the guests who have been here, we go and do some of our truffle hunting holiday with them. We did our butchering holiday this year, our butchery workshop with them. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
I just was giving him a point of reference.
So I realized that if I would like to have animals, I need to learn how to take care of animals, and I have no idea how to do anything. And you can read a book, but that doesn't really sound like getting experience.
Oh, and you've watched a lot of YouTube videos.
A lot of YouTube videos, but that doesn't really count.
Your hands aren't getting dirty.
No. So I went up and asked Roberto, listen, I just want to come and learn and do whatever needs to be done for 3 months. So every morning, Christmas, New Year's, it doesn't matter. For the next 3 months, I'm coming. And
because it started with you also wanted to learn how to milk a cow.
That's really what I wanted to do, milk a cow. And I realize now that that's not going to happen until the cows know me. So It's great. I'm the first one to arrive. I open the barn. I feed all the animals. I clean all the troughs. I give them.
You love it.
I love it. I love the. There's a poop. Did I talk about this?
No, you haven't. They haven't.
That's right.
They don't know anything about it.
So,
do you want to first introduce the cast of characters?
Yes, there's a. So in the barn is 18 adult female cows, 1 bull. In the other barn is 6 more adult cows, and 8 veal, 8 or 10 veal. We also have 6 pigs, 8 big fat adult pigs.
Big old pink pigs.
Yeah, big pink pigs. There's a bunch of different. In another part of next to the barn is all the geese and the turkeys and the chickens and the ducks and all them. And then there is my 2 favorite, the donkey and the pot-belly pig that is crossed with a wild boar. And her name's Pasqualina, and the donkey is Stella. And those 2 they're my buddies. They got tons of personality. But I just want to do all the crap work that the low man on the totem pole stuff, and I am doing it.
What's your favorite part?
My favorite part of the whole thing is the poop belt. So in the back of the barn on each side is this pneumatic belt. It's not a belt. Okay, so at the end of the barn is a motor with a pneumatic arm, piston that pushes hydraulic piston that pushes out and in. And on that piston is a giant iron bar with, the best thing I can describe it is like windshield wiper blades. And there's a canal down the back part of each side, and it's about I would say 80 centimeters wide by 25 centimeters deep. And you kind of scoop all the poop into the canal, and then as this hydraulic piston goes in and out, it kind of brings everything towards the poop pit. And there's a giant poop pit at the end, of the barn, and it all plops into the. Is that
bread?
Bread. One
Pause.
moment, please. All right, that bread looks good. All right. So where was I? Oh yeah, poop pit. And so you scrape all the manure towards this canal, and you turn this thing on, and it just kind of starts moving it down the road. It is hypnotizing. It's my favorite thing in the entire world.
How are you so certain about how deep the poop pit is, or the canals?
Because it's exactly to the very top of my boot. So a couple things that I didn't realize working around animals and in a barn is there's things that'll get you all over the place, like just farm equipment sticking out, giant animals that you have to kind of
That was
understand.
Roberto's number one concern of going. He knows we have a business and have all of this.
He goes, you can't get hurt. You got to be careful. You can't get hurt. I'm like, yeah, okay, I understand. I don't want to get hurt either. But I didn't realize how dangerous a barn is. I haven't gotten hurt at all. Like nothing's really happened. Knock on wood. But when we were cleaning out the big stall, you can't the canal was all filled in, so you couldn't tell where this canal was between the actual level ground and this canal. And he's like, "Watch the canal, make sure you don't step in the canal." And I'm like, "Okay."
You're like, yeah.
And I was good for the first like 30, 40 minutes, and then you're kind of trying to get the animals around, and you're looking at them, and you're not really. I don't know exactly where I am, and I step in the canal, and it goes right up to the very top of my boot, not a centimeter to spare, right to the top. It was like, oh man. Other than that, working around the animals is great. They're getting to know me now. They don't have fear. Everyone's a lot more tranquil with me.
What is it, number 39?
Oh yeah, so the Capo Bronco, the head cow, the one who's in charge.
HBS.
Yeah, she likes me. She butts everyone out of the way when I come in the morning and wants to be the first one. She wants her scratches and everything. The mama that I thought I was going to milk that's not going to happen. Anytime she's okay with me rubbing her head and scratching on her back, but anytime I get down towards the leg, she tries to kick, and she will now flick her tail and try to flick shit on me all the time whenever I get back there. So maybe we have plenty more cows that are getting ready to give birth, which reminds me, I got to do the most incredible thing I've ever done. The vet came and we had...
This is the most incredible. I like how this out of everything, not your pilot's license.
No, this was incredible. Well, it was spontaneous. I wasn't expecting to do it. So the vet came and we had to give vaccinations we had to give them ivermectin, man. We had to give the cows the dewormer ivermectin and also check to see who was pregnant and who wasn't. So the vet, now I'm sure in the first world they would probably bring an ultrasound machine or something, but out here you do it the old school way.
In the Canigliano Valley.
So the vet comes and he suits up in this giant, in a clear plastic suit with a glove that goes all the way up to his shoulder, and he gets on his tiptoes and you stick your hand into the cow and all the way down and kind of lean forward, and with your hand you kind of start pushing down and you can tell if the cow is pregnant and how far along
with the tips of your fingers.
So I watch him do, he's doing it and we're talking and he's asking me a bunch of questions because I'm really kind of checking things out.
Well, I'm sure most other people, like, they're used to it. He just comes, does his job, and you're like, hey.
And because I'm holding the pallet. You put a pallet behind their legs, so if they decide to kick or flick their tail or whatever, then you don't get kicked. So that's my job. So I'm watching him do the whole thing. And then the last one, he goes, "You want to do it?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "Do you want to try to feel?" And this is one of the calmest cows. So I go, "Okay, yeah, sure." So he goes, "All right, go to the car and get one of the gloves." And I put the glove on, and he's like, "Okay."
Run out to the car. So excited.
So he says, "Okay, you pull the tail up and hold it to the side." And the worst part of the whole, and I don't want to get graphic, but the worst part of the whole thing was kind of like digging away the manure to get to where you need to get to. It's like you kind of have to like scoop it, and then you just kind of put your hand in, and you really have to like push. I was very surprised how you have to like really put your weight into it and get up on your tiptoes and go all the way to your shoulder. And then when you push down, I didn't feel anything. And he's like, "You don't feel the calf?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't. I don't know. Yeah, sure. 6 months, sure. So I'm like, no, I don't feel anything. He's like, okay. But a very unique experience. So,
well, this has been full of unique experiences. You brought
oh yeah,
a little something home.
A week before Christmas, I showed up and there was a lamb who just was like in the process of coming out of the mama sheep. There were 2 lambs born the day before to another sheep. And today I just happened to pull up first one, and I literally watched it plop out. And I didn't really know what to do, but the mama seemed to turn around and start licking the lamb. So, and I knew Roberto was going to be there within a half hour, 45 minutes.
Oh my God.
So, nature will kind of work itself out. The lambs turned out to not do so well. The mama was a new mom; she was young. The one that had the older sheep that had the 2 lambs, she was fine. She was nursing. The lambs were doing their job. The other one, she wasn't nursing. She wasn't letting her nurse. The lamb was weak. One thing that I learned to get a lamb to start nursing on the mom is you kind of hold the mom there, and I thought, you lift up the baby lamb head to the teat, and no, you position the mom over it, and you just start blasting the lamb in the face with the milk. And sure enough, this lamb woke up out of it. It was like, rah, and went up and started nursing, but it didn't really work. So the mama sheep wasn't really taken to her. So the lamb would try to go to the other sheep that had the two lambs, which will work. They'll take them, but she's last in line, so there wasn't enough milk. So after a while, she started having
after a week,
she started having intestinal problems and diarrhea, and Roberto's like, I don't know, let's move her into the barn, and he's like, I don't have time to bottle feed this lamb, every 2.5 hours. And I'm like, well, what about the vet? Would you call out the vet? What do you do? And here's the economics of farming. Here's the reality of farming, I should say. A lamb will get you, or a lamb when slaughtered is worth about 160 euros. Once it's, slaughtered, the whole thing, you got to take all the money out of, taking it to get slaughtered, the feed, the time, blah, blah, blah. To call the vet out is 100 euros. So the economics of it is that these are not pets. These are farm animals. And if she lives, she lives. She dies, kind of thing. So I said, well, I'll take her. I'll take her. We'll bottle feed her. We'll bottle feed her.
You're like, Ashley's at home doing
Ashley's at home doing nothing. It's not that big of a deal. We'll put her in a laundry basket with some hay. She's not really moving around that much, and we'll see what happens. And he's like, all right. But in my experience, this doesn't go well. So just so you know that if she does, this is not the reality is the odds are against her. And I said, okay, I understand. Well, we brought her home, and I went out and got the
First of all, Jason, before he goes out and does any shopping, we've got her for the first 24 hours, and it's starting to seem like things are...
She was eating. She was eating. We were taking cow's milk because we didn't have the special... we didn't have the special milk you're supposed to get for...
the formula, if you will, which needed to be ordered. And Jason's like, we cannot get too attached. This animal might not survive, blah, blah, blah. And I just don't want you to get attached. And I was like, yeah, I got it. And Jason jumps up.
That night I'm giving it kisses on the head.
He's giving it kisses on the head. And I said, if she's doing well, then maybe she only has to be here for a few weeks, a month. And then she can join the herd again. And he goes, that lamb is with us for the rest of our lives. He was like, that lamb is mine. She's going to follow me everywhere. And I was like, oh my God. 12 hours later, he is just fallen in love.
So it turns out the first 24 hours she did okay. And then she just the intestinal problem came back. We got her the good formula. She was having the problems when drinking milk from the sheep. So if the formula is harder to digest, and then she just really quickly went downhill, and she died on 1:00 in the morning on Christmas Day, on Christmas morning. It was like, oh my God,
that sucks.
It did suck, and it was a reminder that these aren't pets.
We didn't even have our full 48 hours.
I think if we had her 2 or 3 more days, I would have been crushed. But as it turned out, it was a gentle reminder that what this is, it's not. We're not running an animal sanctuary. It's a business that you have to turn a profit for.
But it was nice to know that we tried.
We tried. And you take care of them the best you can, but there's a reality to it.
So how much formula do you have left?
So I thought, well, this lamb is going to be here until she becomes sheep. So I bought 3 kilos of this powdered formula for cow, nursing cow, any kind of ruminants. And that's a lot because it took, she ate 50 grams of it.
We have a ton.
I have a ton of this stuff.
Oh, my God. So, well, we're prepared for the next one you bring home.
Yeah. Roberto said it happens once or twice a year, so there'll be another chance probably.
But this is, I mean, you've been doing this since the beginning of December, and there's already been, I mean, it's just been such a huge experience. I can't imagine anyone who would think this would be a bad thing.
Except the Godster. The Godster, he doesn't think it's a bad thing. He thinks it's what are you getting paid? I'm like, what do you mean, what am I getting paid? Nothing. I'm doing it because I'm not worth anything. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm shoveling poop and learning how to do it. And he goes, do you know that it is...
He walked in one morning after Jason doing this about a week, and she's just like so excited every morning to go. Godji's a little butthurt because Jason's not here for his morning coffee with him like he used to be, so he's stuck with me in the mornings. But so Godji, without a word, comes in, or I should say his first words out of his mouth.
He goes, 1,016 kilometers. I go, what? He goes, 1,016 kilometers. That is the amount of distance you will travel in 90 days going to and back from the farm every morning. I go, yeah, what's your point? He goes, well, the panda only gets 10 kilometers to the liter. So you're talking about over 100 liters of fuel.
He's done the whole math.
I go, what? He goes, yeah. Are you getting compensated for that? I go, no.
You know I'm not.
You know I'm not. What is your deal? He goes, you're just wasting your time.
And your money.
And your money. I go, what do you mean I'm getting knowledge? I'm learning how to be around animals. Arrgh.
I tried to tell him, if anything, this is saving us money because at least we're not going to bite off more than we can chew.
Oh, it has saved us money.
A ton.
In the sense that now I understand what they need or what, like, we always build things like a bunker, like the chicken coop's a bunker, and now...
Your little storage shed is a bunker.
It's a bunker.
And we were planning to do a little pig stall for 2 pigs.
Which would have been a bunker.
How big were you? Remember we went down and measured it out? You wanted it...
4 meters
First
wide,
you wanted it 8. And I was like,
8.
I think we can...
4 by 6 is what we... huge for
massive.
2 pigs. And this isn't... It's not like we're going to pen them in there. They're going to have... I'm going to divide the garden in half. They're going to have a huge...
half an acre.
Half an acre to run around. I'm going to plant different crops so they can run in.
For 2 pigs.
For 2 pigs. So...
now you've learned all they need is like a lean-to.
They need very simple shelter. It's not... They don't need a lot. They're pigs. They live outside.
Exactly. This has saved us money for sure.
It has. And most of all, it taught me how to act around the animals. You have to have... You can't... not like a kitchen where you kind of are getting places. You're quick with your movements, and you have to be very smooth when you walk around animals because any sudden movements freaks them out. So I learned that. I also learned how to be in the stall with a animal that weighs 500. Like this cow weighs 500 kilos. She can crush me if she wanted to. So
in many different ways.
Well, yeah. So when I'm cleaning the stall, how do you kind of act around them? And it's invaluable. You can't learn it from a book. You have to just do it. I think I gave myself a little E. coli already. I just had a horrible stomach thing for like 12 hours. Was it even 12 hours? 6 hours? Yeah. I think somehow...
Brought a little home on you.
I'm sure I ate a little bit of manure somehow.
It got in my mouth.
It got in my mouth. Oh, you got me. That's the only thing I could think of because it was just stomach. Like there was no fever, there was no nothing. So
no, but you're loving it.
I do like it.
You've learned how to also butcher cows. You knew how to already. You've been around butchering pigs for a while now. I'm pretty decent with that, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but not butchering the cows. So Roberto, he raises the cows and then he sends them to the slaughterhouse. They bring them back and then we butcher them. So it's helping him take down a half. Like cows are a lot more labor, like just lugging like strength needed than a pig. A pig, half of a pig is heavy, but you can kind of muscle it around. A half of a cow is no joke, and he does not have the like rail in the ceiling, the modern mechanisms that you would have. No, none of that.
He's like, we're doing it old school.
We are doing it old school. So
hauling it on your back.
Yes, yes.
And in fact, you're going up this afternoon, huh?
Yeah, he asked me to come back in the afternoon to check on everyone. So more responsibility. I'm getting more responsibilities. Woo! I like it. I'm earning my keep. Very, very good.
Oh, going to have to add that into the mileage and gas.
I know it's an extra trip.
Well, we should wrap it up. You've got this fresh baked bread that's smelling oh so good.
What's coming up? Coming up, I have no idea. There's not a lot going on. These are the two slowest, quietest months in Italy. If you think you love Italy, come to Italy in January or February, and that'll tell you if you really.
It's true. It's one of our biggest tips for people who want to move to Italy. And oh my God, I love Italy, and I want to move here. What should we do? Blah blah blah. We give them lots of advice, and then one of the big ones is visit during February. January, February.
Because it's quiet. Everyone's done eating. Not a lot going on.
It's just kind of gray. There's February, you'll get some nice days and stuff, but just it's colder weather. Hopefully we'll get some snow.
We'll see.
But
all right, I will lie to you and tell you we will be back next week with an all-new podcast.
Who knows?
No, that's a lie.
We'll talk to you when we talk to you.
Have a great time. Hope you're doing well.
Sentire Media.
Hey, podcast producers and show hosts. Do you want to join a podcast network that celebrates all things Italian? At Sentire Media, we understand the allure of Italy and its unique culture. Our devoted team of hosts and producers are all driven by their shared passion for Italy. And we work tirelessly to create the best lifestyle podcasts and content that will whisk you away to the very heart of Italy. With us, you can savor the mouth-watering flavors, get lost in the stories from the past, break down the cultural barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions of this intoxicating country. If you have a great podcast idea or are already in production and would like to join Sentire Media, head over to sentiremedia.com. That's SENTIRE media.com and find out how to submit your show.